So thanks again for everybody for coming, Ginny for putting this together. I feel like, again, we keep coming together, hopefully keep doing good things and working together to accomplish some mutual goals. And thank you to Mayor Small for hosting and for having us here. And, you know, I'll hand it over to you to...
Good afternoon, everyone. And as we say, it's a great day here in the city of Atlantic City. Can we say great day?
Great day.
Yes, great day. I'd like to welcome you to the great city of Atlantic City, City Hall. As you know, collaboration is the key. I tell my staff each and every day that relationships matter. And, we never know when we'll need each other. I mean, we right here on the island. I know we have a lot of mutual aid agreements and more, but it's important that, leadership, of all of these very islands stay in touch for various reasons. And I'm just happy to be here.
Thanks for having us. Okay, right there now. I'm gonna keep it moving. So we're gonna turn it over to you, Mr. Black. You and Nicole. She's coming.
Yeah, she's actually, I think she's walking over here from the court building right now, but if you want, I can just dive in. So again, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you again for the invite. I'm Michael Blatt. I'm the U.S. Department of Labor Safety Director here in New Jersey. Basically, my main task is overseeing the registered apprenticeship system here in New Jersey. Here in New Jersey, we're considered a federal state when it comes to workforce and apprenticeship, which means the U.S. Department of Labor oversees it. I look forward. It's great to be meeting you all. Our focus is, again, how do we put people to work? How do we create opportunities for people? And it's great to be down here to meet with you all because you're the people that drive that as well. Again, it's also, I'd like to just mention, it's National Apprenticeship Week, starting on Monday here in New Jersey. We have a very, very tight collaboration partnership with the state of New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development. Our relationship is so good that it's becoming a best practice in terms of state and federal collaboration. The state has done an amazing job of putting out funding for registered apprenticeship, to build programs, to put people into apprenticeships. It's probably the gold standard when we talk about workforce development training, because it's not just training people, it's actually putting people to work and training them while they're earning a living and giving them those skills, whether it's upskilling them for incumbent workers or just creating new opportunities for them. And the current administration is fully supportive. It's one of the amazing things about apprenticeship is it is a totally bipartisan issue, whether it's on the local level, the state level, or even the federal level. Everybody agrees that this is the way to put people to work. And so I look forward to working with you all to see how we can assist you in building out these programs and creating these opportunities for people. On the federal side, we have some of the executive orders. One of the things we'll be talking about today is artificial intelligence. Horace has created this amazing program that we've just approved, and we're looking forward to...
Say it one more time. Say it one more time. Slowly. There we go.
We have created a registered apprenticeship program with cybersecurity, creating for the people in this area, create job opportunities for them in an in-demand occupation that has unlimited potential to grow. And so we look forward to working with you all, but your work here as well, because you know what your cities need. You know what your workforce issues are. And so working together, we can put these people into these training programs and create these opportunities for them. We work very closely with the Atlantic County Workforce Development Board as well, Fran Kuhn. We work very closely with them. There are ways of bundling and braiding funding, both on the state level and the federal level, to assist people as well. So we look forward to working with you all and to see how this program grows. We're driven right now. This administration is fully committed to upskilling America with in-demand occupations, including AI. Some of the president's executive orders have come out in terms of how do we increase participation in roles that include AI. That's a big concern and a big push for this administration. This program really addresses some of those issues as well. So we look forward to hearing what you need, how we can assist you to grow these out. So I'm looking forward to this conversation today. And again, thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
I'll jump in a little. The as we all have, this employee staff within our cities, I think that we're all a little, we're all susceptible to cyber attacks. And I think the first line is our employees not knowing, you know, how to navigate what those dangers are. So I think that there's an opportunity for the trainees to, I think there's two things. There's training the entire workforce, but I also think that we're stretched pretty thin on our own IT departments in the municipality. So it would be interesting, or I would encourage some of these young people to, or whatever age they are, these people going through your program, to have, like, I don't know, we can, that's the thing, I don't know if we can afford new people, but we can certainly have enough to bring people in on a part-time basis or strategically to help train our people, but also to help our IT department. So I know from a city standpoint, that's one of our weaknesses.
The curriculum that we put in place, and we've had one kind of little cohort here to kind of go through and kind of exercise it a little bit and kind of see how it works. The idea is, and we're kind of targeting kind of maybe high school and up. You don't need a 4-year degree to become proficient and get a really nice paying job in cybersecurity. The training that we take you through, at the end of it, you will be equipped to get what's called a Security Plus certification. That's the entry level in the industry to start in that career. So if you are not, you could be working in a warehouse. You could be an admin. You know, the training is to either give you, reinforce what you know. Some people got some IT skills, and that's great. The kind of underlier for all of this, cybersecurity today, even though they don't mention that, it has an AI component already. That's how we do what we do. Example, I do a lot of work for the government. Same space, behind the gates and the guards, where we're looking at other aspects and different kinds of systems. But what you want to do is you want the AI component to help you kind of filter out the things that are not important so that you can work on the alerts that are. And so it's a component that's already embedded in there. We're going to teach, and our curriculum is hands-on. So it's not just a talking head, stand up in front of you and you flip pages in a book. And it's not you sit at home and you're in your room by yourself and you're trying to do this by yourself. You need someone who has the skill to be able to transfer the skill to you. If anybody tells you that they've passed a certification, that means they've passed the test. We're not trying to get them to pass the test. We're trying to develop a new skill. They can build on that skill after they get the basic and go wherever they want to go. And as we all know in this room, for a guy that's in cybersecurity, one man's trash, another man's treasure. The more systems you bring in, the more refrigerators that can get to the internet, the more watches that can get to the internet, all of those things you need to protect. And so certainly in all your cities, you got lots of things you're protecting now. You probably got, but we want to educate the skilled workforce. Because what we find is the first barrier, people. You can have all the great software, and all the smart people. But if your people aren't educated about just kind of fundamentally how to use what to do with the equipment they have today, then they're going to be that crack that's going to let something get in. And, catching it once it's in, once a virus or whatever, that's really hard. So you'd rather have people be educated about just how to be smart. Some of it is you can't be so curious. The new thing that comes in your inbox or whatever, and say, oh man, you can click on that. So I was talking to somebody that said, we have a no-click policy. I said, that's probably not bad. Until you can verify the source of the thing that's kind of, offering you. So Nicole sent me something last night. Oh, hey Nicole.
Sorry, I had to walk with 2 blocks and heal
Oh,
3.5 inch stilettos over here.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. You could do an intro.
So apologies.
Okay, so this is Nicole Field, also from the U.S. Department of Labor. She's one of my apprentice and training representatives. Nicole was the driving force behind developing this program for U.S. HARDS. Nicole covers the southern part of the state. Let me just say this, you're in great hands with any type of workforce development that we're going to be doing. this is your point of contact. You're dealing with one of the most talented people that I've ever had on my staff.
Thank you, Michael.
And it's important because particularly with us being a big employment numbers for a municipality, much larger than everyone. Everyone wants to work for the city. I'm fiscally responsible. We've been keeping the taxes lower. And when you get everybody that wants to work for the city, it's just going to bloat the payroll and everything else. So back to the term relationships matter. When we talk about how do we partner with Atlantic Care, how do we partner with the casino industries, we took matters into our own hands, knowing that the workforce here needs work. We have a job coordinator from the city, works through CDBG. We have another extension of City Hall, which is Carnegie Library, the old Atlantic City Library right there on MLK and Pacific. And we have a job coordinator I want to put you in touch with.
Great.
Marcus Wilson, he does job training there. And we get Atlantic City residents jobs that are not related to City Hall. So
Great, thank you.
keep doing it. So it'd be a nice contact to have.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
And talk back to what Horace was saying, and you and I spoke about this before, but on the county level, we just, on the commissioners board, they just started an AI committee to kind of look into the county's use of AI, especially, say at the prosecutor's office, detectives, just to make any sensitive information now that the county's utilizing AI to analyze or do whatever they do, just to make sure it's secure. I mean, it's been done around the state. Atlantic County, is one of the few counties that have kind of jumped ahead with AI. But again, they're now looking into how to make sure it's secure, using it the right way, follow all the protocols. It's beyond it's not my area of expertise, but it's something that maybe we can collaborate, the county could collaborate with you guys on. But it's something that, should be discussed.
You mentioned in terms of you already have staff, one of the tools that, when we talk about registered apprenticeship, it's not just bringing people that are new to an industry, but it's upskilling those that are already in it, a little bit more. So taking them and sort of giving them that additional training, register them into the apprenticeship program while they're working, and giving them an opportunity to upskill, to get those skills that they need to make sure that, again, you're in compliance with what's going on, making sure that your systems are protected. And so it's not just new hires, it's incumbent workers.
That's really interesting because I feel a little bit vulnerable that we really only have one person that has all the skills. And so to spread that around to some of the other administration people that want to rise to upskill, as you say, to have somebody in every department that has at least a little bit of training in that would be.
So I want you to raise your hand because I want all the mayors in here to go through my introductory class because everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Everybody. I'm not gonna go and change jobs, but
Right.
there are things that you see and do every day. One night, take the veil off, and you say, oh shit, I didn't know that. So yeah, everybody can, at least it can do it.
Carve out the time and do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
And you raised an interesting point where you said you have one person really.
And as Mayor Small said, we're a small, we have 300 employees compared to, I'm sure, these companies.
So one of the other key things that makes registered apprenticeship work is the whole idea of succession. What's going to happen when that one skilled person retires or leaves?
That's right.
Where's that transfer of knowledge coming from? And so when we talk about registered apprenticeship, it's those experienced people training or upskilling your other workers with these skills. It's imparting that knowledge. That's the on-the-job portion of it. And then what we do is we also supplement that with related instruction, classroom work that goes along with that. The why to the how, so to speak.
Right.
So it's an important consideration when you think about when you have small staffs, what's going to happen if somebody leaves?
Yeah.
How is that transfer of knowledge going to take place?
Or on vacation.
That's what registered apprenticeship can.
Even just on
Well,
vacation.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it's a workforce strategy because once that person, how it works is say, a mentor, right? There's always a mentor to an apprentice, training that apprentice coming up the workforce. So when that apprentice gets to the level of, say, that mentor is, that mentor can kind of take on another role, and then that apprentice that graduated into that mentor role can train another apprentice, and then that apprentice graduates, and then you have 3 men, and it keeps building and building the workforce.
Right. Sounds like firefighters train the trainers,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what it is.
100%.
Our town, we are expanding our IT. We are breaking the Comcast, and we are gonna be looking at offering our whole municipality free internet.
Wow.
Well,
And we'll be expanding that, and along with research, with that will come traffic cameras
I was just
that
gonna,
the
yeah.
police could actually have in their patrol cars.
Wow.
And possibly running it as a utility, you know,
Yes.
and selling it to homeowners.
Mhm.
We did not allow Verizon or AT&T to come along for 5G for one reason. I could not get them to come and take down their old wires in Walmart. And they refused to do it, and we refused to let them come in.
Mhm.
And we want to get away. If you look at any street, there's old abandoned utility wire. And you can't get them down. And we're going to try to get away from that and get it all wireless.
That's a big swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting.
That's
But
good.
expanding our IT, we're going to need some of your help.
Yes, definitely. That's
Yeah.
how it can
That's how it works.
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah,
Yes.
and, you know, the thing for us is, we want to train as many people as we can, and get them back out. Get them back out wherever they are, and if they aren't anywhere, then introduce them to their first job. Maybe it's part-time, you know, we've got some concepts kind of where we, with like 5 to 6 students,
Mhm.
we can start a little security operations center right here in the city and start offering the service. Kids are learning, we keep rotating kids in. And the thing that's interesting about cybersecurity, because it's kind of the boogeyman for a lot of people, we took a group of 20 in this last cohort. I think 3 of them kind of had IT skills, the others kind of not. And it was kind of cool and kind of surprising. After about 4 weeks, the vocabulary changed. And I'd come in the room and said, "Hey, Mr. Jones, did you know?" I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm glad you know that."
I'm teaching them.
He said, "Yeah, this has happened to me before." I said, "That's kind of the idea." And by the end of the 10 weeks, the lights came on. You couldn't kind of keep them out of the room. They want more and more. Because, you know, kind of once you realize that, I mean, I think most of our kids have the skills already. Because, you know, you can give somebody a phone
Oh, yeah.
without instructions,
Yeah.
and they'll be all over the world in, you know, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So just imagine if you trained them to use that same thing, you know, for something good. So, you know, I think now they say that in the US, I think it's like 75% of the US touch their phone before their feet hits the floor.
Yep. Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
that's a reach out and touch kind of thing. So, yeah, but we're glad that we've got ourselves kind of
Mhm.
in there, so we're gonna keep doing some good.
But the other side of this also is that there is funding available to offset some of the costs of this training, both on the federal level and on the state
I
level.
think that's a big piece because, you know, I'm old enough to have really put myself through college with working 2 or 3 jobs, but it's not possible anymore. So like to give people access to education that they can then, you know, get a good job with, I think that's a really important piece that's just global.
I work really closely with the Atlantic County Workforce Development Board and Cape May County Workforce Development Board to try to breed some funding. So employers could get 50% back of wages over a 6-month period of time. It's capped at like $200,000. And then there's also tuition reimbursement that we can get for the students. And then, of course, supported services through the workforce board as well. They'll pay for childcare. There's transportation. So what we want to do is deter them from leaving the workplace because of these barriers that happen. So it increases and it's sustainable.
And leaving the area.
Exactly.
The one thing that I find problem with in just general is that having workforce housing, there's it's just not accessible to people to live close, so.
Yeah.
So all those challenges are here.
Yeah.
So there's an ability that to almost build a training ecosystem there, where your the residents, your constituents, looking, and it doesn't have to be in IT. I mean, we can create registered apprentices. There's over 1,100 occupations
Yeah.
that we can create programs for. So if you have an employer in your town that is struggling to find workers, well then, let's see if we could build them a registered apprenticeship program. It doesn't have to be in IT. It could be in whatever occupation there is, and build that out. And then those those funding sources are still there.
Yes.
And so it's not just for one occupation. In general, we've built this system in this country that there's an enormous amount of financial support for registered apprenticeship.
Yeah. And Mayor Small, you had mentioned earlier your partnership with Atlantic Care. They have a registered apprenticeship program with me. They have over 250 apprentices now in healthcare, starting at medical assistant up to the RN in the emergency room. They're starting an ENT program, a phlebotomy. They're expanding tremendously. And they also got funding from the state. They've been awarded, I think, over $1.5 million to the Gaines Grant so far. They've won every single round. So, yeah.
And in the next month or so, it's not ready to be announced publicly yet. I talked about it a little bit at my State of the City. We're gonna have a tri-partnership between the city, Atlantic Care, and ACCC,
Great.
where we're paying $100,000 for over a 2-year period for first-generation nursing students.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
So that way, that is out of the way, the expenses and everything. That's,
Yes.
another extension of the scholarship program.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That is awesome. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, it's needed. Again, these people are starting out in their careers, so we got to try to reduce any type of barriers that there are. So funding and the braided funding that we can do and work together to obtain for these people is just so important.
Nicole, can you,
Yes, sir.
Mayor Small has a scholarship foundation,
Mhm.
right? Is there any potential to do a collaboration with his scholarship foundation or some stuff?
Oh, definitely. I would love to. I do have a list of scholarships that I do send out to the employers that I work with to bring to the apprentices' attention. There's different ones that I have. Milwaukee, Home Depot has scholarships for tools and PPE. There's a couple other healthcare situations, like $1,000 here, $1,000, but I would love to collaborate, yeah, for sure, and share that information. Yeah, anything I can do.
I would just throw in one more comment is that the small businesses we all have, you've got multiples of the issues that we do in our small towns, but
Yeah.
the IT departments and the cybersecurity that our small businesses challenged with, they don't
Yes.
always, they're mom and pops.
Right.
So they're not only they're the accountant, the front
Right.
staff, and they're the IT department. So,
Yeah.
but you don't always get the best turnout for programs for things like that. So we have a small business association. It'd be nice to see something like this
Oh, I would
focused
love
towards those small
to
businesses.
talk to them.
But I think this is something that we can do together. Something that
Yeah.
because if you get more, I think when more people that show up, Atlantic City,
The
Marty,
only way
those
they'll
small,
know is about if we educate them, right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
and apprenticeship, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
oh, yeah, for sure. I would love to talk to them about
We
this.
have a pretty active small business, but they're mostly seasonal, so it's,
Mhm.
restaurants, ice cream.
Mhm. Yeah,
But, there's but they have all had the same IT problems.
okay.
But that's also, we can work with seasonal situations as well, because the model itself is so flexible. These are employer-driven programs. It's based on what that employer needs. And if it's seasonal, we can construct programs, these training programs, that fit that time frame as well. So there's a flexibility to the model.
My version of trying to get a summer job was to walk down the boardwalk and with my friends, and by the end of it, we actually just got lunch from all our friends who were already working on the boardwalk, and we didn't have a job. We had a slice here.
Yeah, right. The best pizzas on the boardwalk.
So why did we need a job?
Yeah.
Get your needs met, right?
I wish I was kidding, but
But
that's
how
what
am I
we
gonna pay
did.
for the pizza if I don't have a job?
Mrs. Phil, you have a Margate connection, right?
I actually have a condo in Marty.
Great.
Yeah, love it there. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually staying there this weekend. It's our 1-year wedding anniversary. So, there we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I did some research with AI and how municipal government officials could potentially implement AI into their workplace. And it's pretty interesting. So with public safety, other municipalities across the nation are utilizing it to analyze 911 calls, to optimize response times, also identifying high-risk areas for accidents and crime. There's also support emergency preparedness and resource allocation that's being done. The infrastructure and public work department detects potholes and road damage using computer vision, monitor bridges, water systems, utilities, predicts maintenance needs before failures occur. So when I was reading all this, I was like, I have to bring this to everybody's attention because it's traffic and transportation. I mean, period, down here. Like the traffic's crazy sometimes. What it can do is it adaptive traffic signals to reduce the congestion, optimize public transit routes. Atlantic City, there's one right coming out here, and schedules, improves parking management, traffic flows. Citizen services, AI chatbots for permits, billing, and fax, 24/7 response capability for residents, analyze public feedback and sentiment, and then for budgeting and resource allocation, you can forecast revenues, expenditures, identify inefficiencies and cost-saving opportunities, model impact of policy decisions. In regards to housing and urban planning, you can analyze zoning and land use data, predict house demand and shortages, evaluate development proposals with data insights. Environmental management, you can monitor air and water quality, optimize waste collection routes, supports climate resilience planning, flood prevention, which is a big thing down here as well. Administrative efficiency, automated permit and document processing, reduce backlogs and processing times, and improves internal workflows. And then the key considerations would be data quality, system integration, transparency with all residents that this is occurring, vendor selection, cost control, staff training and adoption. And I suggest starting off small as you are doing as a pilot and working through it. And then when you see that efficiency is when you can build more off of that. So I think what you're doing, starting off with your plan, I think that's a good way to do it. And I do have some real world county examples as well. In Montgomery County, Maryland, they enabled school bus safety enforcement. The outcomes have increased 2 to 3 times percent in citation processing. Madison County, New York, early AI adoption for operations. The outcomes, administrative time savings, estimated 15 to 30% on document drafting and internal workflows. Phoenix, AI detecting road damage in real time, faster identification of hazards, reduce inspection costs, quicker repair cycles. Maine, AI for administration and budgeting support, staff time savings, hours per week per employee, faster budget scenario analysis. And then nationwide chatbots, emergency planning, workflow automation. So I was amazed when I read all this, but we couldn't do it without the security behind it. So we need that also in place. So.
The mayor has some things in place now. I know some of the things that I guess Chief Sarkos has implemented of this already. I know it has.
Your AI cameras.
I know it has.
Oh, yeah. That should be, that's a work in progress now, where we're really taking the Axon package. I went out to the National African American Mayors meeting in Arizona where Axon was the sponsor. We went to the global headquarters, and we're about to have autonomous drones.
What is that?
Axon is the police software system.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm sure y'all have the Axon
dispatch.
body cam. So we'll have like the autonomous drones technology. We're going to use AI because Atlantic City is an international tourist destination. So if you get someone from Russia and we don't have a translator in Russian, you just speak into the body cam. The body cam will speak back and translate, and will literally like write the police report. Like it is amazing.
That is so cool.
Technology with that. I mean, it's just like you think of it.
It makes it safer
they can
too,
do it.
no less.
Oh, yes.
And then they also, we're getting, I believe, 200 tasers, the Taser 10, which they want to reduce you know, the officers pulling their weapons out, you know, in that case, you know, for safety purposes, as well. But with these autonomous drones, like, technology is amazing, and we use it, for our 911 dispatch.
Oh, just like what I
The,
said.
Yeah.
the amount of volume of calls that we get here,
Yeah, I can imagine.
you know, in Atlantic City with the technology with Shot Spotter. So just an example, on our roof will be one of the autonomous drones. It'll be 3 to 4 of them throughout the city, and once programmed. So let's just give you an example. We're looking out the window, and you know, it could be knock on wood,
Yeah.
just a gunshot at Tennessee and Pacific, which is right down the street. That call comes in through Shot Spotter, which we already know with alert where
Right.
is it approximate of where the shots are fired.
Triangulate.
It will, that drone on top of the roof, without anybody saying anything, 100 miles an hour will go right to the scene and start broadcasting.
Oh my
And then in
goodness.
our Achilles Technology Center at the Public Safety Building, they will have a sergeant, which will speak to the drone, you know, the autonomous
Yeah.
drone. The sergeant will connect 4
Right.
assets. So if a suspect is running towards the boardwalk, it's just like having a helicopter in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
And
But,
they
you know,
track
for a
them.
fraction of the cost, so
That
they,
is
they,
so
you know,
cool.
they travel and get real-time data, so
Wow.
we're hoping to have all of that stuff up and running by
On
June.
cue.
I know, right?
Boy, I hope not. I really hope
Yeah,
not.
so, listening to what you're talking about and some of the things that Nicole mentioned, these are all amazing things, but
Yeah.
you have to have the people that can program them,
Yeah, it doesn't
code it,
replace
and that's where that training comes in. It's
Yes.
taking these individuals and putting them into these jobs that they can operate this equipment, code it, develop it, and so that's where I think the intersection is.
Yeah, just in a
Right.
small description there, I can see
Yeah.
4 jobs and
Absolutely.
in this
Yeah.
group.
Success depends on being thoughtful and responsible use. So you have to have that behind it. You know, somebody that's trained to properly utilize those tools. And it doesn't replace anything. You know, a lot of people are saying AI is going to replace a lot of things. It does not replace anything. And it's a practical tool that we can use to increase efficiency. And time, I mean, that is so cool.
Yeah, that's a real practical
That
example.
is
That
exactly.
you're helping keep your officers safer.
Exactly.
And you're saving.
Yeah. Now, say if it was a gunshot, right? Say, God forbid, somebody got hurt. Does that automatically, like EMS is on the way? Does it-
Yeah, well, that's through this is to increase response time.
Okay.
So it will be coded for the, you know, the
It
type
goes
of things
in.
that we want. Shot Spotter's already there,
Uh-huh.
but this would just be, okay, well, we got the Shot Spotter, we got the area, we can send a drone right there before
Yeah.
any officer can ever
Right,
get there.
right. That's so cool.
And, you know, interact as well, you know,
Yeah.
follow people, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. Catch
you
the
can't.
I
criminal.
imagine it's gonna help with, prosecuting too.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
absolutely,
You're
yeah.
gonna have
So,
case-
so,
case
so
files.
the murders that happened in Atlantic City last year were all solved like that, because outside of this technology, I invested $5.8 million in citywide